I've lived 1,000 lives. I've piloted 1,000 souls. I've killed and fought and died just for another role.
This is the Happy Jacks RPG podcast, a roundtable discussion that's a mix of friendship, humor, unbridled enthusiasm, and tabletop RPG topics sent in from around the world.
Just for another
Hello, and welcome to season 36, episode 4 of the Happy Jacks RPG podcast. My name is Kimmy.
My name is Adam.
I'm Pooja.
I was totally prepared and paying attention to the countdown.
So, Adam, when I say, here we go, that's generally like, when we go. All right.
And that's exactly when I noticed we were going.
All right. In today's episode, Robin asks how to get the most out of a PBTA game. Kurt wants to know about our favorite NPCs. And from the archive 2021, Leatherneck shares some fun kids stories. If you'd like to contribute a question or story to the show, you can email us at happyjacksrpg@gmail.com. That's happyjacksrpg@gmail.com. Or you can post in the mailbag channel in the Discord at happyjacks.org/discord. If you looked in there today, you're probably getting a bunch of notifications from the mailbag archive. That's because today I started in between, making my kids' new big girl bed and all these things that I always do, archiving old mailbag posts so that we can just have fresh, unused missives in the mailbag channel, and then stuff that we've already used is in the mailbag archive. So you can see that too. All right, announcements. Our next game days is October 25th. You can join the Discord to run or play great games. It's free, inclusive, accepting, and safety tools are required for all games. So it kind of happens anytime on October 25th. Often games drift into the Friday and the Sunday, depending on your time zone. It's still Saturday, maybe for you, but we're not Saturday strict. It's more like guidelines and actual rules about when game days is. And then you can always run games. Honestly, you don't have to do it on
It's like
game
a
days.
party in college. It just kind of starts when it starts and it ends when it ends.
Exactly, yeah. And you just end up having sex with random people.
Often in the game, sometimes, yeah. It depends.
Oh,
on
and in the game, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No, we don't day shame here.
No,
so,
never.
yeah, if you want your Saturday to be on a Friday or Sunday, go for it.
It's totally fine.
Yeah.
And yeah, people are running games in there all the time, even on non-organized play days. All right, our indie designer of the month is still the amazing Black Armada Games. You can find their work at blackarmada.com or blackarmada.itch.io. Today's game, because we're coming up on October, is Familiar Friends. It was an exciting day today. My witch got trapped in the cellar by a spell gone wrong. I had to rescue her all by myself, of course. While I was pondering how to rescue her, I made sure to drink the puddle of cream that somehow spilled on the floor. Waste not, want not. Familiar Friends is a cozy, chill game to explore the magical life of witches' familiars. Familiar Friends can be played solo or with a small group, and you can get it for $7 at blackarmada.itch.io. And it is super cute looking.
That sounds
my
adorable.
God. Yeah. It got me with the pitch.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
That's literally one of my favorite things each week. Is like scrolling through the game, the indie designer of the month's like page, and like, oh, that one, oh, that one, oh, look at that, like this, oh, look at that one, that looks cool. Like it's so hard to choose. It's like being at a buffet and only having one plate. You're like, okay, all right. But anyway, super cute, and we love Black Armada Games. All right, mailbag number 1. Who would like to read this one?
I can read it.
Ready, go.
Sure. Mailbag number 1. Hello, Happy Jackers. My group needs to decide on our next game, which I'll be running. It looks like it might be Dungeon World. 2 of my 3 players haven't played many TTRPGs and have never played a PBTA game. Myself and the other player have played lots of trad games, but very little PBTA. She's played a Blades in the Dark campaign. I've played one-shots of Blades in the Dark in Dino Island. I've always been primarily interested in telling a story together when playing an RPG, and I believe PBTA games are designed to lean into that, which sounds great. but I always get nervous starting a new game, especially one I'm not familiar with. People tend to talk about PBTA as though they're a completely different experience, which is making me even more nervous because I feel like I'm missing something. Do you have any advice or thoughts that will help me and my players to get the most out of a PBTA game? Thanks for all you do, Robin. You have come to the right place, Robin.
Congratulations,
Yes.
Robin. Welcome.
Yes.
Welcome.
You have had your first 12 plus success in writing to Happy Jacks when I'm here to find out about getting into PBTA. I love it. Do you get one of you guys want to start since I read the and I will just talk endlessly unless you stop me.
Well, why don't instead of just like peppering them with tons of advice, let's start at like before the game, starting the game, during the game, after the game. Like we'll go in chronological order of running a game.
Yeah.
Like we're very into PBTA, so yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Which obviously, if you're writing into the show, you probably know.
Yes.
Right, yeah.
And I will say, like, it's already you are really interested in telling a story together,
Mm-hmm.
and PBTA is absolutely designed to do that.
Yes.
So, congratulations. You will not be like trying to swim upstream against the system.
Yeah, yeah. And it's not a totally different experience. It's just a different way of thinking about the same storytelling experience. And one of the things that I talk about when I'm first exposing someone to PBTA is in traditional games, RPGs, what you generally ask as a player is, what can I do?
Mm-hmm.
And what I tell people is that when you're playing PBTA, the question is, what do you want to do? And then you find a way to make the mechanics work for that. So it's a different way of thinking about how you collaborate on a story together. And it's a lot more freeform in that sense. People who have had a lot of traditional game experience tend to think of like, well, here's the mechanics and these are my rules and my structure for how I know what I can and can't do. And taking somebody from that mindset into PBTA, you just want to let them know, like, what do you want to do? You can do anything you want. Tell me what you can.
Or you can
want
try to do it.
or you can try. Yes, yeah. And whether it goes well or not, that's part of the story.
Yeah.
But you can absolutely try. So,
I think, and when you're thinking about setting up the game and starting it, think about what kind of trad games you've played and what style you play those trad games in. Because I've seen people run more traditional games just like people who run PBTA and other story games too, where it's more like, okay, you can try anything. What would you like to do? Describe it, and then I'll tell you what to roll. That's how I've played GURPS with people. They're like, what do you want to do? Okay, roll this. And it's like exactly this, like that same sort of thing where it's not about you thinking about your stats and things. So you might already be playing in a PBTA. It's not necessarily PBTA, but what PBTA is designed to capture rather than what a lot of GMs naturally do. So you might already be playing in that style and not have to change anything about it.
Yeah.
yeah, it's true. Yeah, when I run trad games like our mage game that we did here and the D&D game that I'm doing right now, I incorporate so many of the concepts from PBTA play into those trad games. They totally work. If you're playing D&D and a character does something and you say, what does that look like when you cast this spell? Or what does it look like when you take out that ogre? That is essentially the exact kind of mindset that you want to be in for PBTA. You're just doing that on a more across the entire story instead of just particular moments or images. And you're giving everyone at the table the opportunity to answer those questions about the world in general, not just their own character. So that's kind of the shift that you want to try for. But a lot of you, especially if you've been watching a lot of Happy Jacks and you take our advice a lot, which I think is great for TTRPGs. Don't do it for other things. We're really smart about TTRPGs.
Look,
And
we are paragons
That's
of
it.
That's right.
paragons of wonder in our entire lives.
Right.
Definitely not hot messes.
Right? Not at all. Yeah. But yeah,
Um,
if you've been taking Happy Jack's advice, you have probably started incorporating PBTA concepts into your trad games already.
Mm.
And honestly, like, I think the biggest kind of difference between a lot of PBTAs, depending on the system that you pick up, and I know right now y'all are leaning towards Dungeon World, so the advancements, and personally I think it's a little bit easier. It's similar to feats in D&D, but a lot
Mhm.
more simplified. But it does mean that PBTA will always reward you and your players for thinking outside of the box on what is exactly written in each of the moves and each of your advancements,
Mhm.
if that makes sense. Because if you just follow it as, like rather than looking at it like a prescription where things are going to break and people might get hurt if you do it improperly, look at it like a recipe in which you can start out following it pretty closely, but then the more comfortable you get with it, you move on and on and on, and like then the next thing you know, you're like, yes, this inspired by that recipe.
Yeah.
But it just makes it more and more your own, and I think people have a lot more fun with it once you start looking at what moves, like what they're meant to evoke,
Mm-hmm.
rather than prescriptively exactly what they are. And I think the biggest pitfall for people starting out in PBTAs tends to be the questions.
Mm.
Like, you roll a 7 to 9, you can ask one of these questions.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, none of these questions actually apply.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, don't look at the questions exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Look at what the questions mean, look at what the type of question is, and then go from there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Also, don't feel the need to give your players like 100% of
The narrative.
of the narrative.
Uh-huh.
Like, when it comes to those questions, you don't have to answer it 100% and fully and tell them all
Yeah.
the secrets.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The two big ways it like mechanically PBTA differs from what we just kind of call trad games, and it's not necessarily better or worse, they're just kind of design choices,
Mhm.
are the benefits of failing. Like
Mhm.
there are actual, like you get basically the equivalent of XP, depending, they call it different things depending on which PBTA
Yeah.
game you're playing.
Yeah.
You basically get that when you fail.
Mhm.
Which I personally, as a teacher, really love, and I've incorporated it into most of my games, even the ones that aren't PBTA, because I love the idea, and this is what I try and instill in students too, is like, making mistakes is how we learn.
Mm,
Like,
mhm.
if we're doing things perfect all the time, we're not actually getting better, we're already perfect. So,
Yeah.
like, making mistakes is how we grow, it's how we learn, it's how we get better at things.
Yeah.
With drawing or math or writing or any of these things. So that's something that just philosophically I really love about PBTA. And then the idea about the moves, and nobody uses them this way, so don't stress about it, is they're supposed to be triggered. Like, they're called
Yeah.
triggers. So what you're supposed to be doing is playing the game and saying, oh, I'm going to go and punch him in the face because he makes me angry. And then you look down and be like, oh, I have a move that triggers when I punch someone in the face who makes me angry. Okay, I guess I'm going to use these mechanics that go with it. Nobody really does that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because we all fall into kind of the pull of like, oh, I want to use this move. I want to punch him in the face. Okay, he's making me angry. So you like make the situation fit the move you want to use.
Yeah.
And the trigger is something that you create to use the move. And everyone does it that way, and it's
Yeah.
totally fine.
It's totally fine. Absolutely.
The
Yeah.
only time I've ever seen PBTA played like correctly, and this is actually, I've seen it run by like the people who've wrote it and all that stuff too, is actually Sam Dunnewold, who runs the Dice Exploder podcast. They at conventions, they like don't let you build your character. I forget exactly how he went about it, but it was like he didn't give you your whole character sheet. Like
Huh.
as you went, like you got parts of it, and they were just all pre-gens,
Oh.
and so you like were just telling him what you were gonna do, and he's like, "Oh, look at you've got that a move." Like it was like kind of a magic. I was a little drunk and not paying total attention, but I remember just like sitting in awe of
Yeah.
like this like wild PBTA game appears, like moment of
Yeah.
it in its like truest form, what
Uh-huh.
felt like its truest form. I might have been a little more philosophical about it than I should have been. But that's like the cool design intent. And as someone who's like tried to create moves and write PBTA games, that there's like some real cool magic in that. So like while you're
Yeah.
playing, pay attention to how those things are worded. Because like, okay, I made up the move, punch someone who makes you angry in the face or whatever. Like that's not a problem. It probably is a move in
It
some
probably is.
like
Yeah.
PBTA game. It's not in Dungeon World.
Yeah.
But so like you for that, like you wouldn't roll if the person you were hitting wasn't making you angry.
Mhm.
Like the triggers on the move are very specifically worded. So if you were gonna punch someone else in the face who made you sad, like that wouldn't be what you would use. You wouldn't roll that move and you wouldn't use those mechanics.
Yeah.
You would just say I do it and you're like, okay, you did it. Because you can probably like
Yeah.
based on if that's a move in your game, I'm assuming people can punch people in the faces.
Right, yeah. Bumbletree says it is in Mask, and yeah, I think you're right. I believe the bull has a move that's like when you have the angry condition marked,
Yeah.
and you punch someone, in, basically like things happen
Yeah, yeah.
differently.
It has a
So,
better
yeah.
name though.
But yeah. But I mean that's the thing, and that's why like if you read the moves in PBTA games, they'll tell you how and when to use them. And so there's two general pieces of advice that I think are important going into PBTA. One is you don't need to roll dice unless you disagree about the outcome.
Yeah.
So if you say, "Oh, my character does this," and the GM or storyteller or whatever is like, "Oh, yeah, that's awesome, do it." You don't need to roll dice; it just happens. So it when the outcome is in doubt, that's when you go to dice.
Can I just go back to an example of
mhm.
that?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
back to my terribly named punch them in the face because they're angry move. Like if you're just gonna punch someone in the face because you make you sad, fine, like no problem. Like you do that. If you are like, I punch them in the face because they make me sad and they die, like that's gonna have to be a really amazing punch. Also, like depends on which PBTA game you're playing, but like that's not an expected outcome of a punch. So that would be something you would probably have to roll for. Or just punching them because they made you sad. Like you could absolutely do that without rolling.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
that's the kind of difference there where it's like if you want something like extraordinary or very specific to happen, you might need to roll. If you're just doing it for like the cool moment, like in the comic book you're playing or whatever,
Yeah.
like that makes sense. And you can just do it.
And that's a thing to really know, like, that the way in which PBTA, I feel like, differs the most from, like, trad games is how often it wants you to actually look to the moves themselves.
Mhm.
And like you were saying, like, the moves are triggered from the circumstances and from the like the role play, but also that there can be a sense of like confrontational or antagonistic, but not like the emotional antagonistic, but like literally the DM is playing all the bad guys
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
you are playing all the good guys, or you are playing all the bad guys and the DM is playing all the good guys, who knows.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
it's that kind of sense, but it is overall a lot more like cooperative
Mhm.
in the storytelling. And like, yes, the GM is going to be the arbiter of a lot of like, okay, is this going to break what we're doing or not? but it is a lot more about like, if you both want something to happen, it can happen.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And you don't have to worry about it, and you don't have to worry about the moves, and you don't have to worry about making the roll anything.
Yeah.
And so I think it's conversational in that way. That was the word I was
Yeah.
looking for.
Yeah, I think we're making it sound scarier than it is. You do not have to have deep philosophical understanding of PBTA. We do because we write it and play it and all these
Yeah.
things. But you don't have to. Like, just
Yeah.
It's there. It's like a menu.
Yeah.
Like, just read what it says. Like, okay, does this have peanuts in it? I don't like peanuts. I don't want to use that one right now. I'm gonna have this one. Like, it's very clear. Every little bit. There's a lot less to memorize in PBTA, which I have always been a big fan of because I am terrible at memorizing things. So once you get the basic flow of the game, it's really easy because I'm the type of person who can play a character for like a few months, and anyone who's watched an AP with me or played an AP with me, sorry, Pooja, and like,
Sorry.
and like, oh, I have no idea how this move I've used every single session for like the last 3 months works. Like, I appreciate about a good PBTA hack game because I can look at it and be like, I know exactly how, because it says everything I need to know about how to use the thing right there. It tells me all the things. I don't have to have it memorized. You know, I don't have to remember that, oh, I add a +2 dice from this thing
Yeah.
because of this sword I have or anything like that.
Yeah.
So it's really, really, once you get the, oh, okay, I roll 2d6 and then I read what it says. Oh, it says I get to add my strength. Cool, I have 1 strength. Okay, it's 2d6 plus 1. It's very simple math.
Mhm.
And all the instructions are right there in front of you every single game because
Yeah.
it's all in your playbook.
Yeah.
So
You've got 2 sheets of paper, not 3 different books.
yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
I do love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's great and it's simple. So no matter how much we're making it seem very, and we're going to continue because we
Yeah.
really like talking about this.
Oh, yeah.
Just realize if you read the thing in front of you, you'll be fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that is the thing. And like also as the GM,
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
like don't be afraid to be like, hey, read that move.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
huge and it makes things so much simpler because you don't have to remember all of it.
Right.
It's written right there, and your player will happily read.
Yeah.
I mean, or like,
Yeah.
all
And
the
since
ones
you
I've ever known.
yeah, and since you've got players in your game that haven't played it before, like, perfect excuse. You may know exactly what it says. You may not. They don't know. You're having them read it for their own edification. That's just advanced GMing. Like, yeah, like I know what it said. I just want you to read it so you understand.
Yeah. Like when you write a PBTA game and you wrote all the moves and you're doing an actual play of it and people say, I'm going to do this. I'm like, hey, so the audience understands. Please read that move out loud.
Yeah. Yeah.
Totally for the audience.
Uh-huh. Totally.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
wow,
how
that's a
that
great
goes.
move. That's really great. I wrote that. It's so
Yeah.
good. That was smart. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good job, Pass.
Good job.
Yeah. Right.
I have no memory of this place.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like
So getting ready, your very first steps. So this
make copies.
make copies. Yes, yeah, make copies. Have printed copies of the playbooks and the basic moves sheets. And for you as the GM, have a copy of the GM moves.
They're the best.
It's just have them in front of you. Refer to it. That's pretty much all of the prep you need to do for most PBTA games.
No, now that
but-
once you've run it a bit, you should read the actual
Yes.
book if it's your first time running it.
Yes, you should read it. Yeah, I'm just saying, like, if once you've already read it, yes, when you're doing actual prep for the game,
Yeah.
that's really all you need to do. You don't have to come up with stat blocks. You don't have to come up with all of these like conversation trees or anything like that. You just need the pages in front of you so that you have your reference to the rules, and then you just start a conversation. Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, you're talking about the beginning. But I'm gonna
Yes.
jump right into the middle again.
Okay.
Is that PBTA? I think another large difference between like trad games and PBTA is PBTA is not going to reward you for over prepping.
Yes.
You are going to
Correct.
be you are going to get, I wouldn't say punished,
Yeah.
but like tripped up, I think, or maybe disappointed. I don't know you. I'm not going to tell you how you're going to feel,
Yeah.
but like, I think it's easy to get tripped up or disappointed if you prep a lot
Mhm.
and then the session goes in a completely different direction because it's this conversation, because it's the story that y'all are telling together, and the players have a very, very large impact on where things go. Like, don't over prep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah.
over prep. As I say, as an over prepper.
Yeah, one of the things is a lot of times like character sheets in other games tell you what your character can do. PBTA, or at least well done, in my opinion, well done PBTA, doesn't tell you necessarily what you can do, but how what you do impacts the story.
Yeah.
You can try to do anything, but how, you're better at some things or whatever. But it's the most important part of good, like, PBTA interactions and scenes is how it impacts the story.
Yeah.
So it's not, can I swing my sword? It's what happens to the story when I swing my sword. Or, like specifically, like the bull is a great example in Masks of, like, how does that affect, like, their relationships? They usually have a rival and a crush in there. There's a lot of story arc stuff built into the playbooks that isn't necessarily foreshadowed and laid out in as much detail in other games on their character sheets.
Yeah.
So that's, I think, like, connecting with what Pooja was saying, you can have these moments that are like, oh, they're gonna have a fight, and then suddenly, like, the fight has spiraled off into all this story stuff because of how it's made. Now, I don't think Dungeon World is quite as deep in it. Like, most of us, I feel like, for our examples, we're talking Masks, because that's what we've played together the most.
The most, yeah.
Like, forever.
Monster.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Monster
And
Hearts.
Monster Hearts, yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Monster of the Week.
Yeah, all those things. So there's a lot more story stuff involved there, but it's still something to keep in mind. I think there's a lot more pre-written stuff. There are adventures and stuff you can get for Powered by the Apocalypse games, and a lot, I think, especially for, like, Dungeon World. I'm not a huge Dungeon World fan because I disagree with the author's not a great person. But it is, like, if it's going to be your first baby step from, like, Dungeons and Dragons, it is one of the longest running dungeon crawler type PBTA games out there. So there's definitely stuff that is kind of paced for PBTA that you can get to help you plan if you're doing it for the first time. Because it definitely has a different pacing sometimes than other games, depending on your group. Like, our group has a very role play heavy, like, pacing for things, regardless of the system we play. Does not matter. We have drama and talk to each other a lot. But, like, PBTA games tend to bake that in a little bit more. So if your group isn't as used to that, and you say you have new players and tried game players, so you might not know. Those new players may jump all in on the drama. They may be super into the role play aspect of it. You never know with new players. Sometimes they are, like, in it to win it.
Yeah.
And they become your new thespian at the table. And then, like, the trad game players, maybe they've always played in that style, like we said earlier. So maybe look for some resources. There's some great people who write adventures that are system agnostic or specifically for PBTA games, and see if that helps.
Yeah, there are some specific modules for Dungeon World that I know. I've used one of them, which I was trying to find the name of it. I can't. But there's one it's basically your party wakes up essentially mostly naked prisoners in a mine, and like what do you do to get out? Like, you don't have your gear, your
Mostly
armor. Yeah, mostly. Of course, I made them fully naked.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't get clothes. We see your hot characters. That's what we do in Adam's World.
How many abs?
Yeah, how many abs? Yes, yeah. Among all of your other stats, but anyway, if you can find that one, it's called the Minds of something, I think. But anyway, it was a great module. But there are plenty of others, and with Dungeon World specifically, I would definitely recommend them because the modules have just about the right amount of about the right amount of prep work for you. So, like, they have a lot of the possible monsters that you might run into and what kind of special moves they have, but they don't have all of these, like, strict delineations about, like, here's what this looks like and here's how this person behaves. And so I would recommend those. I think Dungeon World is a good starter for people who have played a lot of D&D because it's familiar in many ways. But just kind of the main difference is just changing that mind shift, and so I think it is a good starting point for a lot of people. But because it's a hybrid and does require a little bit more prep, that it it isn't always necessarily the best one if you're wanting as a GM to sort of transition to like more pure PBTA running, which is much more improvisational. Dungeon World does require a little more of that kind of prep. So there's pros and cons to it. I say, regardless of what you go with, like, just try it out, see what happens. The worst thing that can happen is you don't really like it very much.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Oh darn.
Then you switch to another system.
Yeah, you
Yes.
still got to hang out and have fun with your friends and try something new together. So yeah.
And honestly, if you're used to like Dungeons and Dragons and stuff, if you've been running adventures for years, that might be a big plus for Dungeon World.
Yeah.
If it is something that
Uh-huh.
requires less improv GMing, and if that's something you haven't done a lot of or don't particularly like, because there's people who don't love that either.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
Cool.
So yeah, I mean, once you start the game, I think we're probably like running way too much time on this
It's fine.
ultimately, but
Never.
yeah, but once you start the game, I think the main thing that you can do as a GM is kind of just continually coax the players into understanding that they have the freedom to add things into the world.
Yeah.
That's a very hard thing for players to get over with. We had a couple of weeks ago, I think I was on the podcast, and we had one where somebody asked, somebody was writing in, and they asked a player like, what do you see when you enter the tavern? And the player responded like, isn't that your job? And we were like, fine, okay. But go back and listen to that one if you want our take on that. But when you're doing PBTA, it is not the GM's job alone. It is the shared table. So the GM just sets the scene, presents things. So you walk into a tavern, it smells like bread and stale beer, and there's a lot of people around. What do you do? And let them answer that question.
And I think one thing, like, especially if you're working with players who aren't used to that kind of back and forth and having to come up with that kind of stuff on the spot, is like make the questions a little bit leading.
Yeah.
So, and I think this is something that comes up fairly regularly in TTRPG advice, not just here, but like, if you have a player and you say, like, you walk into a tavern, what do you do? And it's like, okay, so you walk into a tavern, there's a bunch of people here, one of whom is, like, say, your player is the person gets angry and punches somebody in the face with. One of whom is someone you got angry at and punched in the face not long ago.
Yeah.
Do you feel like, how do you feel about it?
Yeah.
And what do you do about that feeling?
Right.
And it's like those kinds of leading questions that let people get engaged without feeling like, because this happens to me. Like, somebody is like, if it's too open, I'm in decision paralysis immediately.
Yeah.
But like just a little bit narrower, and I'm like, yes, I knew exactly what my character would do. I know exactly what would be fun. Like, oh, how can I rope somebody else into this? Like, it's help them help you.
Yeah. One of my variations on that is, who do you see that you were hoping to never see again?
That's such a good one. I love that.
It's like, and then you just run with it. They're like, oh, it's my bully from childhood. Okay, you had a bully. Now we have so much more information about your character and what kind of life you've had. Like,
I think asking players for input that's character specific
Yeah.
is a lot less pressure.
Yeah.
Because if you're like asking them, oh, what kind of bread are they baking? Bread.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's got like
Yeah.
flour.
Right. Yeah.
Like I don't. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I actually love bread, but
Yeah.
I actually want to call out Graph because we had a very great discussion about this. I read it mostly because I was at work, but about this very thing on the Happy Jacks Discord, and I just grabbed these the terms that Graph used. So I'm just gonna read it because I scrolled back because I loved it so much. I can mark out two distinct groups of players, or what they're talking about: explorers and gardeners. Explorers want to go out into the unknown and discover a previously unknown and beautiful tree full of fruits and return home with it. The gardeners want to add their care for the tree in little steps to gain the beautiful tree's full fruits to have at home. So it's like one wants to go out and find the things that the GM, I mean, maybe I might be misunderstanding, but from my perspective, it was like some people want to help care and create the tree, and some people want to just get the win of finding the tree. And I love that. And I feel like GMs come in those two flavors too. Like there's the GMs who want to garden with your group and create this thing together. And then there's people who want to create it for you to discover.
Yeah.
So I just loved those two terms. And I know I'm getting a little far afield of PBTA advice, but I've also been sitting on those two terms all week.
Yeah.
And
I
just
love that. That's so,
Yeah.
it's really cool. And it's like, and I also love that there's no judgment here.
Yeah.
Like, and you can have, a lot of games will have a mix of both people in it.
Yeah.
And like learning to balance your like explorer situation with your gardening situation is so cool.
Yeah.
So
that has nothing to do with PBTA specifically. I'm sorry that we're so far afield.
No, but that's beautiful. Like,
so beautiful, right?
Yeah. Well, and that's also, I think that kind of does get to the central question about the difference between story games and trad games. Trad games are generally designed for explorers, whereas story games are generally designed for gardeners. Like not entirely, absolutely, but in general, story games tend to move more towards let's create a story together, whereas trad games are one person has created this story and now these other people get to play in it, right? And they like both groups get to have effects on the story and the world that's been created or is being created, but the focus is just in a little different way for the two different types.
Yeah. There are some mechanics in PBTA that are kind of traditional. I think a lot of the gardener, like using the terms we said a few minutes ago, aspects of PBTA are more the culture that's arisen around PBTA players.
Yeah, that's true.
There are some specific things in the game mechanically that are more of a gardener vibe, like especially when you're working at the beginning and you have those questions on the playbooks.
Yeah.
And that's just to create connections between the players when you're first starting. Those are really important. So when you're doing that, spend time on those, because those will be really, really helpful later for you and for the players to know their characters better before you even start.
Session 0 is critical with
it's
PBTA.
really important. Yeah. Don't just skip over that or have people do their stuff at home if you can help it.
No. Real quick, I'm going to throw in. So that was the other piece of advice that I was, my general advice that I was going to give earlier, but we got sidetracked. But it's, and it kind of goes to what you saw at the con of don't play before you play. So like you don't want people in PBTA, you don't want your players coming up with characters in a vacuum. Get them together. Everybody talk them over. Like, what do you want to play? How are they connected? They already know each other in most PBTA situations. So like, have them create the characters together, and it really helps build that foundation for the story.
So,
go ahead.
That's okay.
Sorry.
Well, I was just going to say too, like, it is possible to play as explorers though. Once you do the character, a lot of people I've talked to are very comfortable with like the character creation process and being a little more gardener in that aspect of it. But once the adventure starts, they want to be more explorers. And I think PBTA can absolutely lend itself to that in a lot of ways. There are some moves that sometimes ask specific questions, but most of the time it's moves where you pick the question, you ask it, and then the GM gives you the information back. So even that is very explorer typey. So
for sure.
So I think it can work either way. And I feel like PBTA has a bit of a rep for being only for gardeners. Not in that terminology, but I think it like and Bumbletrue in the chat was also saying like, you know, they run for explorers, and I can see the appeal of that absolutely. And there have been times where I show up for games like when we were doing our masks campaign, like what feels like centuries ago. And like it really was like over a decade ago now.
Yeah.
Well, no, it was like before you guys were in
No.
Happy Jackson stuff, like
Yeah,
that
yeah.
first game. I think
Yeah,
it's been at least 10 years for Jason.
yeah.
100%.
Time
Okay.
Yeah,
is a
it was-
lie.
Yeah, and I remember there were days where I was
Yeah.
tired and I just wanted to show up and like play the game. I didn't want to necessarily like as much as I loved the RP of character interaction, I didn't want necessarily to be called on to source stuff and create stuff.
Yeah.
I loved adding things in the moment I felt inspired to do so, but being put on the spot sometimes is
Yeah.
not something that's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My favorite entry point for PBTA that I recommend most is Monster of the Week,
Yeah.
because it does have a lot of that explorer aspect to it. The GM has a lot of and Steffi, yeah, I'm thinking about it. Monster of the Week does have a lot of like the GM can prep the mystery, and Monster of the Week is a fantastic book for explaining to you how to prep PBTA when you want to be a prepper for and so GMing PBTA. Monster of the Week is required reading, not required really, but like highly recommend. Read the PBTA book about how to run a mystery. It's so good.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It's phenomenal. And
Yeah.
like, I know that
Not-
y'all
not
are
re-
looking at,
Not required before you run Dungeon World. So
Correct.
yeah,
no,
absolutely
no, no.
but it is one thing to say that like, because Monster of the Week is set up in such a way that it gives you a lot of advice on how to play it
Yeah.
and how to run it.
Yeah.
So if not necessarily for Robin, but for people who want to dip their toe into PBTA and are kind of like about how to, or
Mhm.
intimidated by running something like Mass that just has so much hype around it,
Yeah.
Monster of the Week is a great place to start.
Yeah.
Because you can run like a mini campaign or a one shot really easily in the
Mhm.
program.
Yep.
Program in the system, and then expand out if you want to, or move on to something else, but just get your feet wet in a system that is really, really helpful to new GMs.
Yeah. Yeah. That's it. Yeah. So I think I mean that's a pretty good rundown, I think, of what what you kind of need to get a PBTA game started. You know, there are all kinds of pro tips we could give, and we have on several of the podcast episodes. But I mean, I think we kind of covered the basics.
Oh.
And
have a lot of D6s.
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
yes, yeah.
Everybody gets well.
Uh-huh.
And
Yeah.
let's be honest, you don't need a ton to run the game.
Yeah.
You need a ton because your dice are going to go into jail.
Uh-huh. Yes. Dice jail is real.
Dice jail, like, or like, you know, to be more abolitionist about it, your dice are going to go into timeout and think about what they've done.
Learn from your mistakes, guys.
Yeah,
Learn
right?
from your mistakes.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so you're going to need a variety of D6s solely to accommodate that.
Yeah. The main thing is just relax, have fun with your group. Don't worry too much if you're like, oh my God, are we doing this right or not? It doesn't matter. And you know, and just like honestly with D&D, even like it doesn't matter if you're following the rules exactly as they're written. As if you're having fun with your crew, then you're golden.
Mhm.
And just lean into it. Let it be like something new and interesting and experiential for you.
Yeah.
Really, if you just read the book
Yeah.
and read
Mhm.
the character sheets,
Yeah.
call playbooks as you play, you'll be golden.
This is true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We make it sound like, and we've talked for an hour about it. So I can't imagine that it sounds less intimidating, but that's really like, go out there, have
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
You're going to do great.
Be great.
Yeah,
Tell
absolutely.
us how it goes. I wanna
Yes,
know.
please. Yeah. Would love to hear more about
Yes.
how it happens.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much for writing in, Robin. Mailbag number 2.
I can take this one. Cool. Stop giving me the eye.
Yeah.
Greetings, fellow jackers, jackettes, and jack-offs. What makes a memorable NPC? What's a favorite NPC you remember from a game, and what made them memorable? Conversely, as a GM, what NPCs have you created that your players latched onto? perhaps still talking about them to this day. How often are these characters someone you created on the fly because the PCs asked some rando their name and you had to spin up an entire name and backstory and maybe even more while flying by the seat of your pants? Kurt, plan Hannah on the interwebs. P.S. Please enjoy a tasty beverage.
Cheers, Kurt.
Cheers.
Kurt of the K Kurtz.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
The letters
many.
this episode were like just designed for me to enjoy, weren't they?
I wonder how that happened.
can't imagine how they.
Were these curated, Kimmy?
Wonder if I have a large number of emails. Actually, they're not a large number of emails sent in emails. But if I have a choice of emails, and I'm like, who's on the show tonight? What should I pick? Oh, maybe these are good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2 words for you. Autograph.
Yeah. Read my mind. Read my mind.
Oh my
My-
god, that was my first thought too.
Yeah. My very first actual play on Happy Jacks, I believe it was the very first session even, or maybe the second
Very
session.
early.
Yeah,
It was
very
very
early. It was
early.
one of the first 2 or 3 episodes because it was in the beginning arc.
Yeah.
And for those who don't know the story, I created a Nazi character that it was Kimmy's character actually had
Oh yeah,
had
there's like
known in the past.
yeah, big bad.
Yeah, she was a spy and had seduced this this Nazi named Colonel Graf and Graf and then at one point after talking about him, Kimmy was like, what's his first name? And I looked at my notes and I'm like, Otto Graf. And you can see it on my face as it leaves my mouth.
It's amazing.
And-
Perfect.
It's-
Amazing.
And, yeah,
Oh,
and
perfect.
it has like lived with me in Happy Jack's world to this day, and I love it. But and he as a NPC wasn't that memorable, but just that moment is just like that is the pinnacle of NPC humor right
Yeah.
there. But,
It's so,
oh my
so
god! But-
perfect.
yeah.
Oh my
But yeah, I
God.
mean, creating memorable NPCs is like it's for me as a GM, it's one of the highlights of playing. But it also is like it can make so much of a difference in games, whether you're the GM or a PC. Like a great NPC is just such a joy for the entire table.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah.
I ran a campaign on 12-sided stories and had like a reporter in a news tower. He's a print reporter.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, what would be fun? Because this guy could be so like stodgy or boring or whatever. And then I was like, but what if he's from the 20s?
Ah,
He
yes.
drank like a gallon of espresso a day.
Oh my
And
god.
I had so much fun with that character.
Yeah.
It's a voice that was talking really fast, and he was like, "Hey,
Yeah.
doll," and da-da-da-da-da.
Right.
And people really responded to it. And I get messages every once in a while.
Yeah.
They're like, "Oh my god, my favorite character."
Yeah. 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 Ah.
It makes me feel warm and fuzzy
Right,
inside.
God, the love that I got from the table and from our audience from the Trinity's Wake episode where I played like the 4 different NPCs from everybody's past. And oh my god, the secretary from Long Island that was Courtney's contact was,
Doll.
and then like Leslie Jordan as an art dealer I think was your character's contact. It was I just
You
love
did
it. And
so amazing.
yeah. A great example, one that's really on my mind right now, is in the Astral Circus. And Jason came up with this character. Its name was Thin. It was in the Feywild, and he just described. It's basically like one of those like inflatable arm people, but as an actual being. And he described him, and just like this voice, and we were all just like, we love him. He's ridiculous and creepy, and we love him. And like Jason, I think like made him up on the fly, right as that happened. And then by the end of the second episode, like spoiler alert, but like He's still around. And like Thin is like, we were all like, when Thin showed up each time, we were like, yes, Thin. Oh my God. So,
yeah, and Jason is Jason has so many of those NPCs where it's just like, I had this throwaway. Nope.
Nope. Nope. We're keeping that.
We are attached.
Yoink.
Yeah.
One thing that I love that Jason does is his NPCs are members of families.
Yeah.
That, like, we are playing, we have met, you know, us, like Zorag, and we have met the evil one of the Fizzle Cranks.
Yeah.
And like, but those also tie back into like the, you know, the extended Jason universe.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
But,
I mean, Rise Corporation is its own NPC,
Yes,
basically.
Yes.
but like even beyond the kind of like EJU of it all, it's the amount of like layering of families. There are systems behind these people that make them seem so much more dimensional and that make us so interested in it.
Yeah.
Finn showed up as a character who had obviously something going on because not only were they like a means of conveyance, but then they showed up again in the same session in a very, very different position.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, well, what's the difference here? What happened here? And then on top of like the fact that like who doesn't love a very, very thin gold person whose head can turn around 180 degrees on their neck.
Me, I do not love that.
Oh my God.
We are a very, very happy go lucky game that loves body horror.
Yeah.
100%. Not my bag, baby, but good job for you. I love it. I'm editing. I'm like, oh my, okay. Cool.
Look, it's friend shaped, okay?
Yeah, it's friend shaped. That's the only thing that makes it acceptable.
Yeah.
I think it's funny too, like how favorite PCs are different for when you're a player and when you're a GM. Like some of my favorite PCs, I love Tapestry.
Yeah. I was just thinking about Tapestry. I loved playing Tapestry.
Like, just like so random too. Like I don't think you planned for that either.
I didn't.
Yeah,
No.
it was like someone cast a spell to find out information on the tapestry that was like on the wall for what had happened in the room because it was like an investigation Monster of the Week game, and like suddenly you're like,
yeah, it was. Oh my God, it was such a blast.
I think so fun.
Yeah, I think I also played a cat that you guys talked to.
Oh my God, the cats are my favorite.
Yeah, oh my God.
Cats are always going to be the best.
Oh, cats are so much fun to play.
Yeah.
I mean, the Interpol X game was basically an excuse for me to play every type of NPC imaginable.
Yeah.
I brought back talking tapestries in the Clockwise Court, which is the Changeling campaign I ran. So much fun. But yeah, I mean, it's, you know, I think the thing with NPCs and making them memorable is and this sounds like such trite basic advice, but think of them as real people, even if they're like horrible monsters, even if they're like a talking tapestry. Like, think of them as like, what do they want? What is their personality like, and like what's important to them, what makes them proud of themselves, and just I try to think of NPCs with the same kind of focus on like motivation that I do with PCs that I'm playing. I imagine rich lives for them, and I play around with voices a lot, and I like to try in addition to accents, I try to do like different cadences, different timbres, different different speech patterns, so I have a lot of fun with that, and that can add a lot to it. But even if you're not doing that, like letting the PCs see them as a real person that has depth to them is really important. Like, You know, like show that they're a little upset. Have them apologize for snapping at the PCs. You know,
Yeah.
have them like get quiet when you mention parents or something like. You know, just little things can make
Like
a huge
those-
difference.
The whole importance of micro expressions kind of
Yeah.
situation. Also, even if you for NPCs that aren't necessarily going to have a starring role,
Mhm.
one of the things besides being friend shaped to certain members of the population that can really have players latch on is that for every NPC you have, you not only have something that they want, but you know why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that way it's not like eons and mountains of prep, but it is just like for every single person that they're going to interact with, okay, here is what they want, whether it's out of this interaction or in general, and here is why they want it. And it's that why that lends the, it's like, that gives you the depth, and it gives you enough tantalizing, like, aromas.
Yeah.
TTRPG aromas, I don't know. To entice your players to engage more.
You both think about it so much more than I do.
Oh yeah.
So one of my favorite things about Unsung Tales, our One Ring campaign, is I got to be like what I imagined all these characters to be in like the Silmarillion and Lord of the Rings, and characters you don't really read about. There aren't any stories about them, and I just had such a ball like making them my own.
Yeah.
Like Círdan is like this old shipwright. Like there's a lot of lore about him, but like there's very few moments where he's like and you have to dive deep, you have to find it, like where he's talking and he's he's got a beard, that's all we know, he's like really old. He's like one of the oldest elves still in Middle Earth. So it's fun to like be that and be like, what would he be interested in? And what would his house look like? And like it's fun, but like also one of my favorite things in that campaign was Elrond's twin sons, who are they're like in an appendix, I think. I don't think they ever have any stories of them. Like everyone talks about their sister Arwen and nobody gives like $2.
Yeah, right.
Like, and I just like loved when Sam's character was like this like fighty person and like, hey, all right, I'm here at Rivendell, what do we do? Like everyone's like, we read and paint philosophically, like I'm gonna climb waterfalls.
That sounds fun, I'll do that.
Yeah, and it's like all right, it seems like these two like rowdy youngest, like I've had a lot of twins in my class, never have I had two quiet, well-behaved twins in my class. So I feel like projected on them a bit.
Yeah.
But like Eladan and Elrahir, like they were just like super rowdy, like not very well behaved elves. Like it was, I don't know, it's just fun sometimes to like personify these like characters. And I feel like Dave when he ran his Star Trek Adventures game, and like sometimes it's fun to step into these familiar characters too, like these fun characters that we come up with on the fly sometimes, or that we plan meticulously, or sometimes like I feel like the ones that most often, but I feel like it's sometimes underappreciated. As a player, I know I have underappreciated it. We're like, oh, that character exists already. Oh, you did a good job with that. Yeah. But like as a GM, I think those are some of the ones I'm most proud of. Yeah. Because you kind of have to take on this mantle that's already been created for this character. So I don't know. I think that's always interesting.
Yeah.
I will say those are the hardest for me because it's so like I get so keyed into and like keyed up about how they are.
Yeah.
And it's easier. It's so much more freeing when I'm picking like a minor or like you did with the twins, and it's like there are no stories about these people. Like
100%.
I am going to be able to create them more whole cloth.
Not an accident. Not an accident.
Yeah.
Like there are not entire Discord servers, you know, dedicated to the perfection of these two characters.
Right? Yeah. No. Some of the memorable NPCs from the Unsung Tales, like I loved Sam's character's mother and grandmother. They were like they were so. the three generations were so similar yet had those very distinct differences that and you could see the intergenerational development between them, and places where the grandmother was free spirit and the mother had gotten really much more intense about that same thing, as a reaction. There was just such a realistic family development across the three generations. So I just loved whenever they would show up.
Yeah.
And I would like to
realistic multiple generations of women who are all very type A. I don't know how I knew how that
weird.
Uninformed about this.
Yeah. And the other thing that I just absolutely loved was Celebrimbor's lover, who they rescued and was, oh my God, that whole story was just so genuine and loving and beautiful, but tragic. And that just really stuck with me through so much of that. That was sort of the arc that just really sang to me was that NPC and how they brought him back and interacted with him. So yeah.
Yeah, that was all. I was really excited to explore that piece because that's always been one of my favorite parts of Elven lore, about like living forever, what the price of that would be.
Yeah,
so the fact that Celebrimbor died, and then their lover and their love has to live forever or not. What do you choose about that? And it's interesting. And I loved. A lot of that was in the source books that Free League made. Obviously, it was not a gay relationship, it was very simple. You release this pretty elf maiden, and it's no, we're gonna fucking lean in on and it wasn't. I don't think it was Celebrimbor's. I think it was their assistant who had been in love with him, but it wasn't. I don't remember the exact specifics of it, but it was great to really lean in and have that deep emotional relationship, but also explore what it would be like for elven kind. That's one of my favorite things about their lore. So, yeah. All right, we're going too deep into
yeah,
but okay.
Yeah.
NPCs are great. We love them.
Yeah.
We do.
Yeah.
And never be afraid to just keep up. I think one of the things that makes NPCs the most memorable to me is how much of a fan the GM is of them.
Yeah.
You can tell if something's just a throwaway.
Yeah.
Versus oh man, I came up with this real weird thing. Yeah. We're just gonna throw this out there, and then we're never gonna visit it again.
Yeah.
And it's aren't we though?
Yeah, aren't we?
Every game.
Every game, yeah. Oh my God.
Every session, every game, forever.
Yeah. If you want to make sure that an NPC gets brought up again, basically just give them the tiniest little mystery, oh yeah, this innkeeper has a scar under her right eye that is slightly discolored. Oh my God, you're going to have to come up with the entire story of how she got that scar and how it affected her life, because the characters will ask her about it and dig into it. And pretty soon they'll be hunting down the beast that gave her that scar.
Yes.
So
AKA as they get a beast.
Right, exactly. Yes. Oh my God, yeah.
As an example, Interpol X is from 2018.
Yeah.
And here we are. And a lot of,
Yeah, that's when I started. That was my first on Happy Jacks.
And we're still talking about Tapestry.
I know.
I mean, a lot of you have written in with your favorite NPCs and stuff, and it's from games from literally decades ago. 30 years ago, I was playing this D&D game, and there was this amazing autograph. And
yeah. Oh my God, I still think about when, and I hadn't watched the earlier L5R game that you guys did, but the one that Stu did around 2018, 2019 or so, and it was way after your earlier L5R game, and your first character's water dragon spirit showed up to give your new character something, and it was there was such a connection there, and I was like, oh my God, this is so cool.
I literally cried.
Oh
my gosh.
Yeah. It was. Yeah. I mean
Yeah.
that
the little
kind
air,
of
the little air comic. Yeah.
yeah. That kind of stuff is just gold. for
Yeah,
these
and
days.
it's
Yeah.
funny when you like create things and like you create these. I don't know. It's the magic of this collaborative storytelling you do. You come up with this thing, you all get these emotions wrapped up in it, whether it's a tapestry or all these things, and then like when it reappears, it's suddenly like your body reacts like it's like a
Yeah.
real thing that happened to you as a person.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
It's tap
Yeah.
S
Tree.
Sorry.
Oh my god.
Revisionist history now.
Yeah, right. Yeah. It was embroidered with an image of a tree, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So, tap as tree.
Oh
Oh god. Yeah. Anyway, yeah.
Yeah, it's so good. Happy times.
Happy times.
Friendship thing.
Yeah.
Or evil ship thing, but whatever. Still
Yeah.
also good. All right. Mailbag number 3 from the archive, 2021. This is from Leatherneck. So I have a couple short stories about kids spying on gaming night. I've been married for 32 years, humble brag, and gained 15 and gained a 15-year-old daughter with the blessed union. Of course, shortly after my marriage, I had to host a gaming session for my friends in my new home's basement family room. During the evening, I noticed movement in the next to the family room and a girl's eyeball peeking at us through the gap between the bifold doors.
Just the eyeball.
The daughter kept sneaking downstairs and a back way to the basement bedroom to peek at us. I thought she might be interested in gaming and asked her about it the next day. She thought what we were doing was stupid, but my friend Dan was dreamy because he looked like Elvis Presley. Fortunately, that was short-lived. I feel like this that might date things a little.
Yeah.
I don't know what age I knew who Elvis Presley was, but it was definitely like yeah.
Not a time when I thought.
No, I was like, oh, I think, yeah. Second story is a child of Dan's, who evidently looks like Elvis Presley.
Yeah.
He had closed off the basement room for gaming, large table and comfortable chairs. He had married a few years before and gained 2 sons, the oldest about 10 or 11. So, a few years being a decade, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe not. Like, I don't know.
Oh yeah, maybe. Yeah.
But the boy was curious about what we were doing. However, his father wanted an adult night and had sent him to play in another room. I know this feels. I love you.
What?
I love you more than anything. I'd jump in front of a bus for you. Please give me 20 minutes without playing. Just go and play by yourself for a minute. I love you. Literal buses, but not for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Just kidding. Forgetting what it's like to be that young and wanting to hang out with adults, we forgot about it and kept on trying to take out the big bat. With a round of AD&D combat, I heard the crunching sound in the wall behind me. A 1-inch spatula. A 1-inch spade drill bit slowly grinding its way through the wall paneling between a fellow gamer and I. The bit completed the hole, withdrew, and was replaced with an eyeball. The two of us on that side of the table shared a smile and didn't say a thing. The mysterious eyeball would reappear ever so often during the night. You, Happy Jacks, have talked often of gaming with children. Sometimes the fun is in their perception when they aren't at the table.
Oh my
Sincerely,
God.
Leatherneck. P.S. Later we found out the boy had used a vintage hand crank drill, believing we wouldn't notice if he was slow enough. P.P.S. Dan now even looks more like Fat Elvis, but still has some Elvis looks on his side. Thank you, Leatherneck.
Oh my God.
That's amazing. Especially like the drill bit is like that's something I might have tried to do if I had had anybody around me playing D&D before when I was 10 or 11. But by that time, like I had gotten to play D&D, so like a year later. So,
I feel like
yeah,
I definitely had a more healthy fear of my parents.
yeah, right.
The
Yeah.
idea that, like, not only did he, like was secure enough
Uh-huh.
in that relationship, which I love, but also had access to a vintage hand drill.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like this
Oh
is
my God.
this is the stuff that like I thought only happened in movies and on television.
Right?
I was
Yeah.
like, that can't be
Oh
real.
my God. Yeah. Yeah.
I love it
yeah.
so much.
But boy, I want to tell you, like, clap back to the previous email. Like, if you want to have a memorable NPC, like while they're in the store, like have the kid of the store, store owner, like start a drill bit in to like watch them. Like, holy crap, players will jump on that. You will never get to another part of the story. Like, forget whatever you prepped. It's going to be about that kid from now on.
Yeah.
So, oh my God, I want to meet this kid. That's
I
awesome.
know. I wonder where, like,
yeah.
where are they now?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. Like, did they end up playing?
I know.
Yeah. I've had a few situations where, like, playing with friends who had kids, and like the kids would start to show interest, and I've been in a few games where we've like run games for the kids, and kind of just do a one shot or a short campaign for them to try it out and see if they like it, and so. My niece, she's not a kid, she's like 21 now, but so I've been running a D&D game, a home game, and my brother has been in it, and his daughter like came over to just kind of hang out during one of the sessions, and so she was in Jason's living room playing with Janet, and but she could overhear our game going on, and then like the next week she had like made a character. And like, you know, and it was like, oh, she wants to try this. So we're trying to like plan out to like do a little one shot or something for her to see if she likes it. But like, I was like, well, I mean, this is clear interest. If you're imagining a character, like you've already done half the steps of getting into gaming.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, my bestie's oldest daughter has reached that age where everything important to her is in her room.
Uh-huh.
But I was able to go and bond over cat and D&D.
Yeah.
And I was like, still got it.
Yes.
Still got
right?
it.
Yeah.
It's like, what kind of characters do you play? What
Yeah,
do you like?
yeah.
Da, 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 da.
Yeah. I'm the cool adult friend.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like,
That's awesome. Yeah.
I have known these children since before they were born.
Yeah. Right? Yeah.
And I'm just like desperate to still seem relevant.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally understand.
I have
Yeah.
such like core memory unlocked of like sneaking to like peek at my parents and their friends. Like when they were like just hanging out or whatever. I actually have this memory. They used to play a game called Nightmare, which I've mentioned a couple times when we've talked about Alice is Missing. Because it was this game that was like a board game, and I just remember it was set to a VHS tape. So it was a VHS tape you put in, and it was like a timer, and it was like music, and it was very similar to Alice is Missing, where it starts off just kind of creepy, and then it slowly gets more intense. So you can feel emotionally like the time is running out because it was like a timed game. And then every once in a while, this really bad, now that I like know anything about what people look like spooky, scary guy called the Crypt Keeper, or I don't know, something. He was not the Creeper. He was like the Temu version or something. He was like bad makeup, like a Grim Reaper type, like knockoff. Nightmare Keeper, I don't know, he had a cheesy name, would pop out and yell, and like everyone would jump. And I was just like absolutely fascinated whenever they played this game, and I'd like try and sneak down the hall, and I'd always get in trouble because they thought it would give me nightmares, which it totally did. And like it'd send me back, and then I don't know, just like this I don't know, I feel like there's something really magical about it. And I wonder how much, because like I remember how special it was when I finally was old enough and they let me play.
Oh, yeah.
After all these years of like hearing it like from my room and trying to sneak down and seeing it, and then like I don't know, it's just kind of a rite of passage. I feel like it makes it seem more like enticing. Like, gaming.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Like, this is for grown-ups. When
Grown-ups,
you're old enough,
yeah.
you can do it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like board games now, but
Right.
I don't think it was because of that.
Yeah.
There
Right.
is something about like, it was just so magical to have things that like there was like a board game that was like about getting a boyfriend, and it came with a phone.
Oh, yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
I remember
yeah,
And I
yeah,
was just like,
yeah,
we were not a board gamey family.
that.
yeah.
So this was me just making up what I thought this stuff might be like
Uh-huh.
based on television commercials.
Yes. Right.
So like, who knows?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Oh my god, yeah.
my entire impression of like what Jumanji was,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
dovetailed really well in with the movie. Actually,
Yeah.
I was like, I was right.
It was
How it happens.
right.
Oh
yeah.
man, but yeah, it's like that, and always, man, I really got in the right profession. It was always the things that had a little thing with them.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, here's the VHS tape that you need to put in. Here's
Yeah.
the phone that comes with it. You're gonna talk to the boyfriend on.
Uh-huh.
Here's the little cash register thing.
Yeah.
Like when Monopoly went digital.
Uh-huh,
We had
yeah.
cards.
I remember that.
Right,
My
yeah.
gosh.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah. I mean, I would say like if kids are watching you play D&D, like let them watch, but also pretend like you don't want them to watch. That's going to be the best
Catnip.
for that. Yeah. Yeah.
My school has a D&D club.
Nice.
I don't
Awesome.
know anything about it, and I've
Yeah.
tried to find out things about it very subtly.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Like, hello,
Yeah.
do you play the D&D?
Yeah.
Like, I guess it's like a thing where, like they come on campus. It's like a club they pay to participate, but
Uh-huh.
that makes sense. So I'm just like very interested in like, interesting.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, so I have to. I don't know if I told the story on the podcast already. If I did, I'm sorry. But we did our back to school night at the beginning of the year, like normal. My husband came because my daughter goes to our school, or my school. It's our school because she goes there also. But and like was doing like the whole parent thing while I was doing like the teacher thing. And he comes, he's like, "Oh, so who's the D&D person?" I'm like, "What?" He's like, "There's a guy on the like there's like a blacktop with tables in a robe getting people to play D&D. You don't know him?" I'm like, "No, not all of us know each other, okay?" It's like, I totally thought for sure you would know them. I'm like, I have not been to a robe? Really?
Yeah,
A robe?
what?
So now I'm like stuck on the other side, not being able to like go approach this person because I don't know what they look like without a robe.
Yeah.
And trying to like hunt it all down. So yeah, so it's gonna be interesting. I'm gonna see if I can like
Yeah.
infiltrate this club. And see what
Yeah.
happens.
Yeah. Right.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, sidebar. Another little story hop. Thank you for joining us for season 36, episode 4 of the Happy Jacks RPG podcast. Please support Black Armada Games, our indie designer of the month. You can find them at blackarmada.com or blackarmada.itch.io. You can check out Familiar Friends, or the game we talked about today. Thank you to our chat mod, James V, and to all our amazing Patreons who keep us ad-free and independent. You can join their amazing ranks at happyjacks.org/Patreon. They keep us ad-free, independent, and keep alcohol in the fridge and the air conditioning running, which we really, really appreciate.
So
because
much.
It's been
so much.
so hot in LA lately.
So
We
hot.
appreciate it. Yeah.
It is still so warm.
Yeah.
Oh my god. My name is Kimmy.
My name is.
you can-
sorry, I'm so.
You're fine.
I'm used
Fine.
to the.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can find me at goldenlassogames.com. That's where I make the game. You can find the games that I make. You can also find me at happyjacksrpg on everything, and at Golden Lasso Games on everything, and at Golden Lasso Girl on everything. And yeah, please make sure that you come if you want to come play on our next game days, October 25th. Join the Discord, happyjacks.org/Discord. Free, fun, plenty of safety tools, big variety of games. Amazing. So good. All right. Sorry.
No, it's okay. My name is Adam. You can find me on most of the social medias at Hoobuk, HOOBUK, mostly just Instagram these days, and even not that very much. But here at the podcast and doing the advice show every couple of weeks, so I'll see you here. And then every Sunday on the Astral Circus with Pooja and our friends traveling through the weirdness that is the extended Jason universe. Yeah. Playing D&D Jasonth edition.
We are playing D&D 2024 with only one major change, and I feel like we need to give that the respect that it is
Yeah.
due, considering
Yeah.
it is a Jason game, and we are in session like 26 tomorrow.
Yeah.
We should give him a biscuit or something.
I know, right? Yeah.
Good
Yeah.
Jason.
Yeah.
Good Jason. Following the rules. Good job.
We're gonna have to give him like a bottle of tequila.
Yeah. That's much better. But yeah.
Oh,
Oh my
Hopefully he
God.
doesn't listen to this. I love you, Jason. I'm just teasing you for the audience's sake. I love you. It's fine. You can run games however you want. There's no wrong way. Have
That's
fun.
right.
oh my gosh. Hi, I am Fuda. You can find me on the internet as Forgotten Saves. If you want to hear me play more TTRPGs, tune in tomorrow, where we have the most astonishing times.
Yes, we do.
And
Yes, we do.
you can also find me on Queen's Court Games Mekong, a Southeast Asian mech space opera with so much drama, and it was so good. It's so much fun. So 10 episode kind of complete campaign that you can check out on their YouTube or podcast feed. Or if you want to see me make weird stuff, I have a YouTube channel now where I just make things that I get obsessed with. It's called Forgotten Curiosities.
Yay. Amazing. And we're going to leave you with a song today. Oh, did you have anything to add?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
We're going to leave you with a song today. We're going to leave you with The Expedition on Heavy Submarine. It's a acoustic heavy metal song by our friends at the Dread Crew of Oddwood. You can find them at thedreadcrewofoddwood.com. Don't forget the. And yeah, we will see you next week or before then on an AP or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have a great week. Bye.
Bye.
Let's dive down underneath the roaring waters into the heart of the ocean. Soon you'll know what it feels like to be prey. So face your fears or sail a bit faster. We're commandeering your vessel. Surrender now, you have no chance for escape. Minutes go by and we're moments behind you. We'll launch our attack, and before you can fight, we'll descend into the sea. Your hull is crushed by our raging torpedo. You're taking on water and trembling, scrambling, screaming. You're already too late. Periscope down, flank speed towards target. Tubes 1 and 2 flash online. Briny ocean depths will be your fate. Minutes go by and we're moments behind you. We'll launch our attack, and before you can fight, we'll descend into the sea. Down to the depths of the ocean, deep below where no shark goes. Home to all manner of monsters unknown. Descend into the sea. We travel in perpetual motion. Enemies in submission. We're in position for an underwater expedition on heavy submarine. Fucking low. Descend into the sea, down to the depths of the ocean, deep below where no chart goes, home to all manner